Love is a gift, but before we offer it to the world, we must first learn to offer it to ourselves. Too often, we walk into the arms of another carrying the weight of old wounds, bruises unseen but heavy on the soul. We hope another's smile will mend the cracks, that another's embrace will silence the ache, but no heart can thrive on borrowed healing. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. You cannot give joy if your own spirit is starved of kindness. The love you long to receive must first be planted within the chambers of your own being. Speak tenderly to yourself. Forgive the stumbles of your past. Let compassion rise for the person staring back at you in the mirror. When you choose to love yourself, wholly and unashamedly, you teach the world how you deserve to be loved. There is power in healing your own heart. It is not weakness to admit you were broken. It is courage to gather the pieces with gentle hands. It is not shameful to rest, to weep, to rise again slower but stronger. Each scar tells a story, each lesson strengthens the foundation of the love you will one day share. Relationships built on unhealed pain collapse under the weight of expectation. But relationships born from healed hearts stand tall, rooted in truth, watered with trust. When you walk whole into love, you do not beg for validation. You radiate it. You do not cling out of fear. You stay out of choice. You do not demand to be seen. You already shine. Love that lasts is not found in desperation. It is found in wholeness, and wholeness begins with you. So let your heart be the first place where love dwells. Let your soul be the first home where peace resides. And when you rise in that light, love will meet you not as a rescue but as a celebration. Love begins in the quiet corners of the soul. Before we stretch our arms toward another, before we whisper promises of forever, before we seek comfort in the warmth of someone else's embrace, there is a sacred work that must be done within. We are taught from childhood to dream of love as something to be found, a treasure hidden in the eyes of another. Yet the truth has always been closer, always simpler, always harder to embrace. Love starts with you. When you do not honor yourself, when you do not tend to your wounds, when you do not nourish your spirit, every relationship you build will carry the shadow of what you left undone. We cannot outrun the fractures of our past. They follow us into the present, pressing themselves into conversations, rising in moments of anger, shaping how we hold, how we touch, how we trust. If you are not healed, love will not heal you. It will magnify the hurt, echoing the brokenness you tried to bury. Healing yourself is not selfish. It is sacred work. To stand before the world whole, you must sit with yourself in honesty. You must trace the outline of every scar, not with shame but with reverence. You must admit where you bled, admit where you stumbled, admit where you were abandoned, betrayed, or dismissed. But you must not stop there. Healing means telling yourself, I am not my pain, I am not my failure, I am not the words spoken over me by those who could not see my worth. Healing means reclaiming your story. The most beautiful love songs are written not from perfection, but from truth. And the most lasting relationships are not built on the hope that another person will fix what you refuse to face, but on the strength of two hearts that have chosen to do their own mending. Imagine walking into love with your hands free, not clutching old regrets, not dragging the weight of bitterness behind you. Imagine standing tall before another human being, saying, I am whole, I am ready. I am not here to complete you nor to be completed by you, but to walk beside you in fullness. That is love at its purest. Too many people confuse attachment with love. They call desperation devotion. They call fear loyalty. They call the need to be seen the act of seeing another. And then, when the relationship cracks, they wonder why it could not stand. A love that is born from wounds left untended will always be fragile. It will shake when storms come, it will falter when distance grows, it will collapse when truth demands honesty. But a love that rises from healed hearts, that love is unshakable. It bends but does not break. It weathers storms because its roots run deep. To heal is to face loneliness and not fear it. Many people rush into the arms of another simply to escape the silence of their own company. They run from solitude as though it were a curse, when in truth, solitude is the very ground where self-love takes root. In solitude, you learn the sound of your own laughter without anyone to approve of it. In solitude, you learn the rhythm of your own heart, the wisdom of your own thoughts, the richness of your own imagination. And when you learn to enjoy your own presence, you are no longer afraid to lose someone else's. You can love freely, because you are not clinging out of fear. You are sharing out of abundance. Love starts with the way you speak to yourself. When you wake in the morning, do you criticize the face in the mirror, or do you honor it? Do you rehearse every failure, or do you whisper gratitude for surviving, for enduring, for still standing? The language you use with yourself will shape the language you accept from others. If you treat yourself with contempt, you will allow others to do the same. If you treat yourself with gentleness, you will accept nothing less from those around you. You are teaching the world how to love you by the way you love yourself. If you believe you are worthy of respect, respect will meet you. If you believe you are deserving of kindness, kindness will follow. But if you walk with the belief that you are unworthy, undeserving, broken beyond repair, you will settle for hands that harm you and voices that diminish you. Healing yourself is not just about you. It is about breaking the cycles that would otherwise repeat, generation after generation. Think of all the relationships where unhealed pain has been passed like an inheritance. A father wounded by his own childhood shouts at his son. A mother never taught self-worth clings to a partner who does not value her. Children raised in the echo of unspoken pain grow up repeating the very patterns that wounded them. But healing interrupts this. Healing says the pain stops here. Healing says I will not pass this burden forward. Healing says I will raise love from a place of wholeness, not a place of emptiness. Do not wait for someone to choose you before you choose yourself. Too many lives are wasted waiting on validation that should have been born within. Choose yourself in small ways every day. Choose yourself when you say no to what drains you. Choose yourself when you walk away from places where love feels like begging. Choose yourself when you invest in your dreams, your health, your peace. Each act of choosing yourself is an act of healing, and each act of healing is an act of preparing for love that lasts. Love is not a rescue mission. It is not a hospital for wounds you refuse to treat. It is not a hiding place for broken pieces you hope someone else will glue back together. Love is a garden, and gardens flourish when tended by hands that already know the beauty of growth. If you walk into love with a heart already blooming, you bring fragrance, you bring color, you bring nourishment. If you walk in barren, hoping another will make you fertile, the soil will remain dry. You must water yourself first. And healing is not an event, it is a journey. There will be days when you feel whole and days when the old ache whispers again. There will be nights when loneliness feels sharp, when memories sting, when forgiveness feels impossible. Do not despair. Healing is not about erasing the past. It is about transforming your relationship with it. It is about saying this wound shaped me, but it does not define me. It is about saying I carry scars, but I also carry wisdom. The beauty of self-healing is that it awakens you to the abundance already within. You realize you are not waiting for someone else to complete your joy. You are already living in it. You are not waiting for someone else to affirm your beauty. You are already shining in it. You are not waiting for someone else to make you feel valuable. You are already rooted in your worth. And from that place of fullness, when love does arrive, it is not to rescue you, but to celebrate you. Imagine two healed souls meeting. Neither desperate, neither hiding, neither pretending. Each one standing tall in their own truth, their own strength, their own beauty. They do not grasp out of fear, they hold out of freedom. They do not demand wholeness from one another, they already are whole. That is the kind of love that transforms generations. That is the kind of love that endures storms. That is the kind of love that lasts. So I tell you again, love starts with you. It starts with the forgiveness you give yourself for yesterday's mistakes. It starts with the gentleness you extend to your own reflection. It starts with the courage to sit with your loneliness until it teaches you strength. It starts with the decision to break cycles, to choose worth, to honor your own heart before asking someone else to hold it. And when you do this work, when you heal from within, when you walk in wholeness, every relationship you build will be stronger, truer, more radiant. For you will not be looking for someone to save you. You will be walking beside someone who, like you, has already learned the sacred truth. Lasting love is born from healed hearts. There is a quiet revolution that happens when a person decides to heal themselves. It is not loud, it does not seek applause, but it changes everything. You begin to notice the small ways you used to shrink. You remember the times you silenced your truth to be accepted, the moments you settled for less because you believed less was all you deserved. And as you heal, you no longer betray yourself for the comfort of others. You rise taller. Your voice steadies. You walk into rooms not asking permission to be there, but knowing you belong. Healing teaches you to walk away without bitterness. When you are unhealed, walking away feels like failure, feels like rejection, feels like proof that you were not enough. But when you have done the work, walking away is an act of dignity. It is a quiet declaration that says, I love myself too much to remain where love is absent. It is not a door slammed in anger, it is a step taken in grace. There is no shame in acknowledging that you have been wounded. Every soul alive has known heartbreak, betrayal, or loss. But there is great tragedy in refusing to acknowledge it, in pretending you are untouched, in covering your pain with the thin disguise of laughter or strength. True strength is not in the mask, it is in the unveiling. True strength is not in denying the wound, it is in tending to it until it no longer bleeds onto others. Many believe that healing requires another person's apology. They wait for the one who hurt them to come back with words of remorse, as though their freedom is locked in someone else's mouth. But healing is not dependent on the hands that harmed you. Healing is your gift to yourself. Whether they apologize or not, whether they understand or not, whether they see their wrongs or remain blind, your healing is yours to choose. You can lay down the bitterness, not to excuse what was done, but to free yourself from carrying it. You deserve that freedom. Love that lasts does not grow in soil watered by resentment. It grows in soil where forgiveness has made room for new roots. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. Forgiveness does not mean inviting back those who caused the wound. Forgiveness means saying, I release you, and in doing so I release myself. Without forgiveness, we are chained to the past. With forgiveness, we can walk unburdened into tomorrow. Self-healing demands patience. We live in a world that glorifies speed, that tells us everything worth having can be gained in an instant. But the soul does not heal on demand. Healing is like the ocean, it comes in waves. Some days you feel strong, other days the tide pulls you under. Do not curse those days of weakness, for they are part of the rhythm. Healing is not about never hurting again. Healing is about knowing you can hurt and still move forward. And as you heal, you begin to discover the layers of yourself that pain had covered. You rediscover joy not tied to anyone else's presence. You rediscover laughter that bubbles up from your own spirit. You rediscover creativity, curiosity, dreams that you had buried because life seemed too heavy to hold them. Healing is not just recovery, it is rebirth. When you meet another soul from a place of wholeness, you are not blinded by illusions. You do not confuse kindness for love. You do not confuse attention for commitment. You do not confuse control for care. Your healed heart can discern the difference. You can see clearly. You can love deeply without losing yourself, because you know yourself. Some will ask, if I heal myself, will I ever need anyone else? The answer is not about need. It is about choice. A healed person does not cling out of desperation. They choose to stay out of desire. That choice makes love more powerful, more beautiful, more enduring. To know that someone does not need you to feel complete, yet chooses you anyway. That is the kind of love that liberates rather than confines. There is a danger in believing that love from another will erase self-hatred. It cannot. No matter how many times someone tells you that you are beautiful, if you do not believe it, their words will sound like lies. No matter how many times someone reassures you of your worth, if you do not see it, their love will feel like a trick. You will doubt it, question it, sabotage it. Healing yourself is how you learn to receive love without suspicion, without fear, without constantly waiting for it to disappear. Think of love as a mirror. If you stand before it broken, you will only see the cracks. If you stand before it whole, you will see the reflection of beauty and strength. The mirror does not change, you do. And when you change, the love reflected back to you changes as well. There is music in a healed heart. It beats with rhythm, steady and sure. It sings in silence, it hums even in the face of sorrow, because it knows sorrow does not have the final note. To bring that music into a relationship is to bring harmony, not chaos. It is to bring melody, not noise. And when two healed hearts meet, they create a symphony. Healing is not a destination you reach once and for all. It is a journey you return to again and again. Just as the body needs rest, the soul needs renewal. Just as gardens need tending, your spirit needs care. You cannot say, I healed once, and expect never to hurt again. You must keep returning to the practice of love, for yourself, within yourself, from yourself. Every relationship you form will test the work you have done. Old wounds may resurface, insecurities may whisper again. Do not see this as failure. See it as an invitation to go deeper, to strengthen what you have begun. Healing is a lifelong companion. It walks beside you, reminding you that love is not a single act but a continuous offering, both to yourself and to others. So take the time, sit with yourself, listen to the whispers of your own heart, nurture it, hold it gently, speak to it with tenderness. Show yourself the kind of love you long to give and the kind of love you long to receive. And from that wellspring, let your relationships grow, not as desperate attempts to fill a void, but as sacred unions of wholeness meeting wholeness. So I say to you with all the certainty my spirit knows, the greatest love story you will ever live begins not with another's hand in yours, but with your own hand pressed against your heart. When you rise whole, when you rise healed, when you rise unafraid to honor the beauty within you, every relationship you build will flourish. Do not wait for someone else to prove your worth, stand in it. Do not beg another to complete you, walk in your fullness. Love starts with you, and when you finally believe that truth, you will discover that the love you give and the love you receive can only grow stronger, deeper, and more lasting. Because healed hearts do not just love, they create legacies of love.